The moment is finally here, Dustin. We've done it. We are
Yes,
in
sir.
the national championship. The first time since 2020? We lost to Bama in 2020. So we ain't been that far removed, but obviously we are a 9.5 point favorite of winning this game. Team's looking good. Dustin, life is great as a Buckeye right now.
Yeah, come on, man. What are we talking about here? Life's good in Northeast Ohio, man. Outside of the Browns, like we got the Cavaliers rolling right now,
Yeah.
and obviously Ohio State playing in the Natty. It's going to be a fun weekend for a lot of folks here in the state of Ohio.
Do you feel any type of way of the fact that Marcus Freeman is the head coach for Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, Marcus was a teammate of mine for a season at Ohio State, and obviously we're friends, teammates, and now I don't talk to Marcus that often, but I mean, we're certainly still acquaintances and could text every now and again. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly some feelings there with the relationship that I have with him. And for a lot of guys, ex-players that are watching this game, it'll be bittersweet in some ways because you never want to see a Buckeye brethren have to take the L, but at the hands of Ohio State, we'll accept it and gladly take it. You know what I mean?
You know what I was thinking to myself? If the good news is, because obviously, if you don't know, Notre Dame has like a ton of injuries. I think they got like 3 key players that's hurt: D tackle, left tackle. Like it's not good, but they play a lot of tress ball. Like if you ever watch it, Notre Dame play like tress ball, where they really don't try to give up no explosive plays. They run the ball effectively. They got the running quarterback. Don't really stretch the field a lot. There's a lot of ways that y'all had that successful magical season. And it got me thinking, Dustin. I was like, man, if they're going to play tress ball, could they pull a 0-2 Ohio State versus Miami? Like, it's been in my head. Like, because of the style that they play and because of the fact that nobody is giving them a shot, what is the odds that they actually could shock the world? Because, I mean, y'all did.
I mean, look, they have a great defense. They have played with everybody. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the strength of our team in 0-2. The defense, they have a quarterback who gets it done, as we did. Yeah, they've got really good skill players. It's not like they're a bunch of like slapdicks. Now, I did see a stat where Ohio State
receivers has not been great this season. Now, the Greathouse kid, the Jaden Greathouse kid, has been doing well in the postseason, but for the season, they ain't been, they ain't been.
Well, my point is, like, they've got good players. Ohio State's got, I think, 10 5-stars on their team. Notre Dame has 0. I was reading. I want to be accurate when I say that. I saw the tweet this morning, but anyway, the point being, yeah, I mean, it's a game Ohio State's favored to win. They're nearly a double-digit favorite, and I expect them to win the game. But everyone expected Miami to beat us. Now, they were a little bit bigger favorites. I think they were like 13 to 15-point favorites against us. It's an interesting game because if Ohio State would lose this game, you're not like disappointed with the year. You're like, because you're in the Natty. You know what I mean? It stinks if you don't win the game. But dude, they have already beaten Tennessee, Oregon, and Texas. Like,
and I
feel like they should already be holding up the trophy.
It don't mean a thing without the ring.
Exactly.
That's what they would say.
Exactly.
Like that's like, yes, what they've done in these playoffs have been magical. And I'm actually upset by it because I feel robbed for 12 weeks. Like, why are we only getting 3, maybe potentially 4 games to see this team play at this level? Why they should have been doing this literally the entire season with the roster that they had. And I feel robbed as a fan that we only get to see it. Now, I'm going to be grateful because obviously I want to see them win the ring. And if you end with a championship, obviously that's what you come to college for to do anyways. But I do feel like, man, we only going to get 3 to 4 of this type of performance. Like, wow, like where this been at?
All right, this is according to On3. You know that site?
Yes, that's a very credible site.
All right, so they say the national championship roster breakdown, more than 100 former blue chip recruits are split between Ohio State and Notre Dame. But you can see it. There it is. The 5 stars.
10-0. Yeah.
10-0. It's a
they do a great job of developing. I tell you what, the interesting thing is whatever coach wins, I wonder how long they're gonna stay in college, because I know Ryan Day has always wanted to go back to the NFL, and Marcus Freeman is like a top candidate for the Bears.
But Ryan Day could win a natty and ride off into the sunset.
You think he would?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I can see it. Somebody said we want you to be our OC this year. After all the death threats and all the stuff he endured.
Yeah, but I think he needs to beat Michigan.
He did. He's 1-4.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that he needs to. I mean, for the sake of his own being able to put his head on the pillow at night for the rest of his life, I think he needs to come back and beat Michigan next year. So
he got so 2-4 is okay.
I don't know that that's acceptable, but I'm just saying, like, I think that if you leave, even if you win the natty and you have a 1-4 record against Michigan, it still is not going to be an easy pill to swallow.
How do you feel about the fact that they're going to be the first Ohio State team that's going to win a natty that didn't beat the team up north?
That goes back to way back in the day?
I'm sure. It has to be. I'm not looking it up.
That's
I ain't looking it up, but that's got to be what it is.
Well, I assume that's the case. Anyway, yeah, that'd be wild. But it's okay because y'all lost to Virginia Tech.
Whoa. What does that have to do? That ain't got nothing to do with the cost of tea in China right now, all right?
Well, it does, actually, because I want to ask you, do you guys ever even think about that loss?
Yes.
Really?
When I think about the championship, that's the first thing I think about. How in the bleep did we lose to Virginia Tech? It blows my mind. Forget the rest of the games. How did we lose to sorry ASS Virginia Tech? It really is the first thing that comes to my mind. The very first thing. Yes. And I feel like they might feel the same way. Now they might be different because they got 2 losses on their record, but I know they're gonna say for sure, how the heck did we lose to the Wolverines? Like that, it is sad.
It makes no sense, and also it makes no sense that Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was a dang shame. that was a shame.
But I will say this much, man. And I did 1 or 2 NIU games this year, and so I studied them a little bit, and I watched that game. Dude, NIU's got like really good guys and like really, really good defensive linemen, and they pushed Notre Dame around like in the trenches. So for anybody who said it was like a fluky game, maybe so to some degree, because at the end of the day, the cream should rise to the top, but not in that game, man. They got their ass kicked.
Well, if that's the case, then Ohio State should dominate in the trenches in this game, and it shouldn't even be close. I tell you what, I don't think if Ohio State did get off to like a big lead, I think they take their foot off the gas. Like, I don't think, how Notre Dame, the last time they played, they went up against Alabama and it was bad, or Georgia TCU was bad a couple of years ago.
Right.
I don't think they would do them like that. Because I think they got respect for Marcus, that I don't think they would embarrass him on that stage like that. So I don't think they would completely dominate. If it came to that, I think they take their foot off the gas.
But if they do, it just means what? It's a closer score at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't think they want to embarrass that guy. You know what the funny thing is? So everybody's asking me, like, how do you feel if once they win it, you won't be like the latest national champion anymore? You won't be the latest defensive MVP and all those things. The funny thing is, I say the same thing. I say it doesn't matter to me, because no matter what, I don't care what people do. I don't care from now to the end of time. I don't care what they could beat everybody by 100 points. Everybody's going to remember the 2002 national championship. It's like nothing we can do is going to ever be put over this 2002 team. And you know what's funny? They're going to find this out. They're going to find out after they win this, like, everybody's still going to talk about how great the 2002 team was. So that's why, to me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How does it feel to be a part of that the team that everybody just hold on a pedestal as the greatest national champions of all of the 8, about to be 9 championship teams?
Oh, I mean, listen, I think every team had great teams. Yeah, every team's had great teams, man. To pick one over the other, it's impossible.
That's what they do. I'm telling you, Dustin. I look at the gear that come out 2002. I be like, we in 24. This is last year I seen this. They dropped a new jacket, 2002. I'm like, so just forget us.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, there's a like a 1 in your record.
You can there's a 1 for you. There's a 1 for you. Listen, does that really matter? Does that really matter?
No, it doesn't. But I think that's part of why that 02 team. And like when we won the title in 02, it had been exactly 25 years since they last won the title. Because we actually won in 03.
It was that long?
It was 68 the last time they'd won a championship prior to us.
It was 32 years. So my hoodie.
30, okay. Math is hard for me, by the way.
32 years since y'all last won one. Oh, and Quinn Ewers declared for the draft. That's breaking news for you. If anybody cared. I thought he was coming to Columbus, but whatever. Anyways, so give me what was it like for you, once y'all won that game to get to the national, y'all was headed to the desert. Like, give me what was that week like? What did it feel like for you to go through preparation? And then when you got to the game, how did you feel? Did you change any routines? Was it anything special that you did in that week? How was that? Just give us that entire week and rundown of your pregame.
It was different in that, like, I don't know how it is now with the playoffs, but when we played, we get there, 7-8 days early, something like that, like at least a week, right? And
I don't think we was there. I don't think we was in Dallas. I think we got to Dallas like maybe 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days.
Well, we got a lot of time to actually hang out, like in Tempe. And the first few nights, like, guys would go out and it was just like a normal bowl experience. And then by the time we got to 3 days before kickoff, 3.5 days, guys sort of locked in. We tightened things up. Curfews got a little tighter, and then we got to the game. But it was a great experience. We practiced hard out there. We were super locked in. We watched so much tape. I know that our group, my secondary, who was led by we were led by Mike Doss and Donnie Nicky. Those guys had us in the film room all the time. Every time we had a free second, instead of playing arcade games, we were in there watching tape and trying to figure out what Miami was going to attack us with, and that's why I think we were so prepared for the game that we put a lot of time into it and felt extremely confident by the time kickoff rolled around. But it was a cool deal. One of the coolest parts about that game, we all if you were on that team, you would remember. Mike Tomczak came and talked to us before the game, and he told us to write down Ohio State 2002 national champs on a piece of paper and set it on our bed and put it in the universe. And dude, it was crazy. All of us did. We all carried it to the game. We were locked in, man. I don't think that anybody on our team or in our locker room felt like we were an underdog to Miami. Yeah. And that's what's scary about a game like this, because Notre Dame's going to come in here uber confident that they can beat Ohio State. And Marcus Freeman, who sat in the chairs that you and I sat in, he's going to be able to tell his guys exactly what it's like and make them feel confident that they can go beat Ohio State.
Yeah, and I mean that factor does kind of worry me a little bit. I don't want it to be like a karma or something, because we upset in Miami back in 2002 when it was the greatest team in college football history, and right now a lot of people are saying that about the Buckeyes, and I don't want karma to be like. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm not going to rule it out, because anything can happen. Games can get crazy, but if they come in here and they play the way that they've been playing, man, there's no doubt that they should win this game. I will be interested to see what they do, because obviously Texas did a really good job, shutting down Jeremiah Smith, holding him one catch to 3 yards or whatever the heck it was. I think that the difference is everybody's like, well, Notre Dame should just do that same thing. Yes, but Notre Dame is more of a man-to-man team. What I do see them doing is they probably will roll that too high safety look and make them dink and dunk their way down the field. Like that is a way, and then maybe sprinkle some cover 2 off of that and make Will Howard have to figure out what you in, and maybe that buys your pass rush enough time to get there. I can see that being a thing, but my problem with him is offensively, you got Jeremiah Love. They would have to get them to play them how the Wolverines got them to play. Like that, which is kind of what Texas tried to do. They tried to get them to play, because I'm sure you watched that game, and I was on Twitter. A lot of people was like, this looks just like the Wolverine game. It looks just like the Wolverine. So that is the only way you got a shot at beating this team, is you got to get them to not play their game. And we've seen it twice this season with with the Wolverines and with Texas. And the thing about Texas D-line, and they in the trench play, Ohio State was dominant in the first half. And I'd say probably that third quarter, Texas like stepped it up. They started getting pressure on Will Howard and things look different. So that would tell the tale to me. The trench play always tells the difference in the game. These boys got to be ready to play, and they got to. It's one more game. It's literally one more game. That was like my biggest motivation when I went in. My week of preparation was pretty much similar. But I'm gonna tell you when I knew that I was ready for this game. So before the game, your coach give you the test. You got to take the test, right? And all year, I usually am I was like a 90% guy, maybe 85. Maybe I missed something here and there. But me, I kind of knew the playbook like the back of my hand. Like the reason that I stayed and was able to play safety at Ohio State and start over guys like Malik and Eric Smith is because I was essentially a coach on the field. Like I literally knew the checks and adjustments. It was like Coach Ash knew that I knew everything. So like we would I could at least get everybody in the right thing. Maybe I wasn't the most athletic. Maybe I wasn't the most talented, but I understood that playbook. Anyways, we get to that game. We take that test. He handed me that test back. Dustin, 100%. 100%. I knew what was going to happen. The big thing for us was the tempo. That was like the biggest thing for us. Like Oregon's going to come in. They're going to run that tempo. It's going to be a 16-second thing. They're going to run a play. 16 seconds later, they're going to be on that ball running another play. And if you ain't set, they're going to score. So it was literally a track meet for us in practice. They had 2 offenses. They would run a play, have the next offense sprint on the ball, and in 16 seconds, boom. Whether you're ready or not, whether the call is in or not, they hiking the ball. So in my mind, I'm so paranoid in the game. We make a tackle. I literally sprint 10 yards back and get to my spot, and I'm looking, trying to get the call, because in my mind, I'm just thinking that's what it's going to be for the entire game. And we figured out that if you stop them on first down, obviously they can't do tempo. So we started winning first down, and it made the game just so much easier. But the funny thing is I made a play. I remember this. I made, out of the plays, everybody thinks of the goal line play. I don't even think about that play. I think about the fact that I took a mental rep in practice. And, you know how valuable mental reps are. So we get to so Vaughn is to the field side. I was always to the boundary at safety. And they ran this bunch formation. They ran a double follow. It was the double follow concept. For people that don't know what a double follow is, that's when like the point guy does an over route. The guy that's on the inside of the ball fakes like he's going out, and then he does that V cut and comes back and follows. That's why they call it a double follow. So Vaughn, they taught Vaughn how to play it. Like in practice, like, they're going to do it to the field. You got to be the one to play it, blah, blah, blah. So I sat there and I watched it, but I never took a rep. I never took the rep because they said it wasn't coming to the boundary, so I never worried about it. We get to the game, they do FTV. they do FTV, and I was sitting there like, oh, well, I know what to do because I watch Vaughn do it, so I actually do it. They throw the V cut, boom, I make the PBU. And I'm just like laughing to myself, like, that's crazy that I never repped this, but it came up in the game. And then on the other thing, the goal line play that everybody talks about, the reason that that's funny to me is all season, Coach Ash would be like, he'd be like, we called this on the goal line, and I was responsible for the B gap. So he was like, this is like week 5. He was like, that if they run the ball in the B gap, that's your responsibility. I was like, sure. It never came up. It never, ever happened the whole entire year. On that play in that championship game, that thing parted like the Red Sea. I was like, oh my God, this is me. I got to run through there. And I threw it in there. Luckily, I got like 4 or 5 other guys that was right behind me. So once that happened, I was like, yeah, it's done. It's done. We ain't losing this game. So the preparation is the most important thing. For the moral of the story is preparation is very important in these games. It really does make you a better football player. Like, I don't understand how. Like, I know how people be like, it's boring to sit there and watch tape all the time, but it's no better feeling, Dustin, being in that game and knowing what they're about to do. It's like funny. Like I know exactly what you about to run. Like, it is the best feeling in the world. So I say all that to say, Ohio State better be in the film room this week.
Well, I mean, they've had plenty of time, and these games. It's cool how these games are spaced out where it like, I don't know, when it was just the 14 playoff, it was just the semifinal, then the game. Like now it seems like there's a little bit of a rhythm. It kind of feels like the NFL playoffs to some degree where they can the players can get into a little bit of a rhythm more similar to what it is during the regular season where you can, they have 10 days between the last time they played between the semis and this game, I think something like that.
Well, I think one may have 11, the other one got 10. I think Notre Dame got 11.
Yeah. So you get a couple extra days off, but I think that there's plenty of time to prepare. It's not like, sometimes when you have a bowl game and you finish the season against Michigan, then you've got like a month off. It's almost like too much time to prepare. And you feel like if you are like not always in it, you're not doing enough. And it's like you can almost like get in your own mind about the preparation. So it's nice that it's more of a regiment type of deal. So I'm looking forward to it, dude. I think that the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be ready to roll, man. I really do.
Is there anything that concerns you from Notre Dame's personnel standpoint? Is Riley Leonard the only thing that you worry about because he's a mobile quarterback?
I mean, I guess I'm a little concerned about that, but if you see our defense and how we play against Quinn Ewers, and Ewers is probably not as mobile as Leonard, but I just think our athletes are going to be able to get Leonard uncomfortable. I think that the other thing too is like Leonard. I don't think he's going to like he's a confident kid, but he'll throw you a couple. He'll throw you a couple picks, man. Because he's going to force throws. Like he got away with a few against Penn State that I think could have. I think Penn State should have won that game. It's crazy. You
was rooting for him. So
I mean, I picked them and that whole thing. Although it's probably better that Notre Dame won because you know how tough it is to play a team twice.
Well, I'm not hearing that. That's true for a lot of occasions. For this situation, if it would have been Ohio State and Penn State, that don't hold weight to me. Yeah,
I actually think that Drew Aller's got more like talent than Riley Leonard. So like is an arm talent, So like that, I'd rather face Leonard than have to go against Aller. I mean, Aller also is young. He could throw a couple too.
He don't have the Johns and the Joes. That's his problem. He needs Penn State, if they got all these people coming back, they need to go out and get a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. That's what they need. If they want to make any run at this thing, they bet to go get them a number 1 receiver. They got both running backs, got the quarterback coming back. Tyler Warren is gone, so you best go get you some type of bona fide pass catcher. That's what I would tell Penn State. But this ain't about Penn State. I tell you what, I got a couple of key matchups in this game that I'm kind of looking at. Obviously, the Riley Leonard thing is something I'm not even going to force that down people's throats. I think everybody understands Riley Leonard is a mobile quarterback. Anytime you go up against a mobile quarterback, it changes how you play. Sure, they're going to have some type of spot. What I am going to look at on the defensive side of the ball, these are two to three matchups I'm looking at. Sonny Styles versus Jeremiah Love. Why do I say that? Because I think I'm a little concerned about Sonny Styles as far as pass coverage goes. I don't know how good he is in coverage. I think that at safety, when he plays safety, it was something that I worried about. When he's at linebacker, I think Texas kind of figured out like this guy might not be that great in coverage, which is why they decided to throw them two streaks out the backfield to the running back to see if he could cover him. He did not. With that being said, Notre Dame 1,000% is going to put him on an island in some way, some shape, form, or fashion. He's going to make them check this person, and he's got to be able to cover. If he don't, that's another wrinkle into the game plan. Another guy that I'm looking at, Jordan Hancock, has been phenomenal. He is probably the most underrated and underappreciated person on the defense because he got to check those slot receivers. And I don't know if you ever played nickel. It's difficult. It's a lot of room.
I did.
It's a lot of room inside of there. There's a lot of bodies inside of there. And the fact that he's able to shut his guy down speaks volumes in how good of a player he is. With that being said, he will have to check that Great House kid. And the Great House kid has been good in the postseason. He had a play against Penn State where he bounced on him and took it like 40, 50 yards or something like that. So that's a matchup that they're going to try to attack just to see if Jordan Hancock can stick with this guy one-on-one. And then lastly, the one that I think really can make the whole game, or it can make this game easy or it can make this game a little challenging. JTT is dealing with an ankle injury. I understand that. But JTT also is going up against the third string left tackle. If JTT can't get no pressure on the third string left tackle, man, this game could get interesting. But if he does what he's supposed to do and be dominant, he can make this not even be a contest. So those right there are three things on the defensive side of the ball that can make the game interesting.
Yeah, I mean that is certainly a lot to unpack there. The one thing I'd like to see more of in this game is like I know they double teamed Jeremiah Smith in the Texas game, and they sort of took him out, and they took advantage of.
No, they triple teamed. I mean, they did everything.
I still continue to. I'm not saying force the ball to him, but try to create some opportunities where even if they've got three guys on him, you can get him a deep shot to certainly keep the defense honest. I just think he's going to have to be a factor in the game. Like, I know how many catches did he have against Texas? Just a few, right?
Yeah, one catch for 3 yards.
So it was not great, but the other guys did.
Targets.
So the other guys did step up. I would like to see him be a little more involved in this game if we can do it.
I'm sure they will. I think that this was one of those things because the thing is, everybody's like, well, if they could just come out there and play the same thing Texas did. No, because if you give Chip Kelly and Ryan Day 10 days to dissect what Texas did, they will come up with an answer. So Notre Dame got to tread lightly. They can do it a little bit, but at the end of the day, they're a man-to-man team. If you're gonna lose, you better go out playing your style of defense and not what somebody else did. So that's my thought to Notre Dame. All right, we almost at the end here. What's your prediction? Score prediction. You've been all right. Last time I told you I didn't.
Yeah,
think
I've been close. I've been close on these. I've been close on.
I had 31-17. It was the final, like 28-14. So I was pretty darn close.
Give me Buckeyes 24-13.
It's a good score.
Buckeyes 24-13. I actually think that's a great score. I'm thinking about it now. Like I just said, I'm like, shoot, that might be the score.
I'm gonna say Buckeyes 35. 35-17. 35-17.
35. Okay.
35-17 will be the score.
I'll take that too, man. I'll take that.
Y'all. Make sure y'all leave y'all's comments, y'all score predictions in the comment section. Me and Dustin have appreciated y'all following us every way. I know we're probably going to do a post game. I don't know if you're going to be there. I will definitely be a part of the post game show after we win the Natty, because we ain't losing. So after we win the Natty,
you're not even putting it in the universe like that, man. You're just saying when we win.
Will we win the Daddy? There will be a post-game show. It'll probably be myself and McNuggets again. And me and Dustin to get at y'all maybe again next week to wrap things up for the season. But we appreciated y'all love and y'all support. Always and forever, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.